What makes a faction great? Good rules? Compelling lore? Interesting characters? Heck no, it's all about the models, baby. Let's go, models. More models equals more good. 100% no exaggeration, baby. Hello, everyone. I'm Matthew, and this is Old Mountain Games. And today we are going to talk about new models. Being honest with myself, and I'm assuming I'm in the majority, but whenever there's a new Games Workshop announcement video, I am only watching for new models. Nothing gets my dopamines going than seeing a new detailed model that looks both fun to play and, most importantly, looks cool. I don't really care too much if it's actually good, but if it's neat, then I'm loving it. But as we've seen in 10th edition of Warhammer, the majority of non-Space Marine factions to get a codex, they will get maybe like one new model, and it's usually with mixed results. And one of those said factions are unfortunately the Adeptus Mechanicus. As you all know, the Admech faction is the faction for me. I don't know why I'm saying that. This is actually my very first video, so you won't know that, but trust me, you will see a lot of Admech stuff on this channel. But back to the topic. For this edition, Admech got, well, the tall boy, who isn't, he's not bad. He's not bad. He's just so himself, and I'm happy for him. But because he's just himself by himself, I can't help but be just a little disappointed on what we could have gotten. Because of this, I decided to come up with a list of 3 new models that could be added into the Admech range that would make the Admech fans giddy with joy, and also make the best faction in the game, I'm not biased, you are, even better. They aren't really put in any particular order, but I will say that these 3 represents the 3 smaller sub-factions within Admech. The Scutari part of the army, the Legione Cybernetica part of the army, and then the Tech Priest side of the army. Also, side note before we begin, I'd like to say that these are not the most original ideas. My brain has been corrupted by social media and Reddit, and I wouldn't be surprised that this is just an idea that I saw 6 months ago via some random post. I'd also like to say that I am actually, believe it or not, just a fan who is not a game creator. So, will this be competitively viable? Maybe, maybe not. They might be broken, but who knows? I'm just doing this because it sounds like fun. Anyway, let's dive right into it, starting out with my choice for the Skitarii part of the army. Now, I believe that this model is probably the one that's least needed out of all the options that I have. This mainly being that if you look at the Admech range, the majority of the models are, well, they're Skitarii. There's a lot of Skitarii, and not sure if they need any more, but I think this one would definitely be an addition that's welcomed. And this idea is a Skitarii Marshal on a mount. Now, this Skitarii Marshal on a mount would act pretty dang similar to how a regular Skitarii Marshal would act, except it would be able to be paired with 5 different datasheets. And I hear yourself thinking, Matthew, what do you mean 5 different datasheets? How can he lead 5 different datasheets? And I'm like, this is where it gets fun. In my head, it'll be able to lead the Cerberus Raiders and Sulphur Hounds, but also the Iron Star Ballistari, the Sidonian Dragoon with Radium Jezile, and the Sidonian Dragoon with the Taserlands. Now, this is where the idea gets a little tricky and honestly more unlikely to actually happen, but hear me out. It would be pretty basic to put the Marshal just on a horse or on a Dragoon and just call it good. But what if they dive fully deep into the weird technological creations of the Admech and gave it a mount that could ride and lead both the horse models and the Dragoon models? Honestly, I don't have a super specific idea of what the mount would look like, but would be something bigger than the horse models that the Cerberus Raiders and Sulphur Hounds are riding, but smaller than the Dragoons, like a horse, but with long legs and noodle legs, but it's also a moose. I don't know, but it would be fun, and it would probably be expensive in points, and because you know how leaders models nowadays are getting more and more expensive, I feel like this would be a leader model that would actually be worth the higher price. But I just thought it'd be a fun idea. And now for our next idea, and also what I believe would be the by far the easiest, would be for our dearest robot boys in the Legione Cybernetica. And I know what you're thinking. How can finding new models for the robot boys be easy? It's not like there are already different robot models already made and used in a different game. Oh, wait, that's because they are! There's so many of them in the Horus Heresy, and they look so cool. But we just don't have them. And it's sad. I'm sad. I want to use more robots. And just imagine it. Yeah, we have the Cybernetica Datasmith leading the two Castellan robots. But you could also have that Cybernetica Datasmith maybe not leading the other robots, but maybe having like an ability where if the robots are certain inches away from the Cybernetica Datasmith, he can transmit orders and making them better. There's just so many options that we can do with the big boy, the little boy, the biggest boy. There's just so many things which you can do that I feel like would not only add to the Legiones Cybernetica data range, because let's be real, the range is the robot and the one guy leading the robot, and it's kind of sad, it's pathetic, and we have only a whole detachment just for those two guys. But if we, throw some more robots in there, then it could actually be like a cool, fun idea that can be fully fleshed out. Now, I know that Games Workshop made an announcement that they weren't actually going to pursue that, but I don't know, I think it would be fun. Also, I really hope you can't hear the motorcycle that's been roaring in the background this whole entire video, but fingers crossed. Now, my final idea would be for the tech priest part of the army, and although I don't know if it's a good chance of happening, it's the one that I hope for the most. Now, this would be a little bit more bold than either of the two when it comes to what it would be needed to include, and this is because it would be and just hear me out, a tech priest kill team. Now, I am a big fan of Warhammer 40k, but I'm also a pretty big fan of Kill Team. It was the thing that introduced me to Warhammer. It's what actually got me into it. And honestly, the Admech Kill Team is good, but it is just Skitarii. And if you look at the Tech Priests part of the army, you'll see that there's only like the Electro Priests for non-character models, and I think that's sorely lacking. Now, my idea for this Tech Priest kill team would be similar to that of the Mechanicus video games, where they are Tech Priests looking for long lost ancient archaeotech. They would have fun abilities that would allow them to maybe gather things, gather information, maybe capture objectives. But I just think it'd be a fun thing to do, that, especially considering that there is a new edition of Kill Team. And, some factions are getting forgotten, lost behind. There's not been a lot of AdMech stuff. There hasn't been any AdMech new models for Kill Team, just Skitarii Rangers and Vanguard and Infiltrators and Rustdockers that were already existing. So I think it'd be really fun if they could add them as well. Well, anyway, these were 3 ideas that I think if Games Workshop did, the AdMech fans would be quite happy about. Now, please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, not only about the models, but also of this video. I'm new to this making video things, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, maybe points of improvement. Please like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube stuff. You know what it is. Everyone here has already watched YouTube so much. You all already know this stuff. Anyway, please do it. Yeah. And I'll see you later.